Something crossed the boundary. If you watched my last video, you already know about the footsteps that stopped at my fence every night at 3 a.m. What I didn't tell you is what happened after I turned the cameras off. Because the moment I stopped watching the property line, something finally crossed it. At first, I didn't realize anything was wrong. The night felt quiet, too quiet. No motion light, no moving grass, no strange messages. For the first time in days, I slept without fear. Then I heard a sound from the hallway, a slow, deliberate step, like someone learning how to walk again. I opened my eyes. My room was completely dark. The digital clock read 3 a.m. Another step, closer. The floorboards outside my door creaked softly, like they were being tested. I held my breath. The footsteps stopped. For a long moment, there was nothing but silence. Then my bedroom door handle moved. Not violently, not suddenly. It turned with patience. As if whatever was outside already knew it had all the time in the world. The door opened just enough for the darkness from the hallway to spill inside. I reached for my phone to turn on the flashlight. Before I could unlock the screen, it lit up by itself. A new message. You stopped watching. My chest tightened. I sat up slowly, forcing myself to look toward the doorway. I couldn't see anyone, but I could feel something standing there. You know that instinctive awareness that someone is looking at you? Multiply it by 1,000. The mattress beside me dipped slightly, not enough to make noise, just enough to make the sheets stretch. I didn't move. I didn't even breathe. My phone buzzed again. Now I can move freely. The motion light outside suddenly turned on. Its glow seeped through the curtains, painting the room in pale gray shadows. In that dim light, I saw them. Footprints, appearing one by one across my bedroom floor, starting at the door, walking toward the window, walking toward the property line. I scrambled out of bed and ran to the curtain. When I pulled it open, my stomach dropped. The yard looked different. The grass was flattened in long paths. Not just one invisible trail anymore. Many. Crisscrossing the boundary like something had been pacing back and forth for hours. The fence gate was open. I never leave it open. Behind me, the bedroom door slammed shut. The motion light flickered. On, off, on again. Each time it came back, the shadows in the room seemed to be in a different place. Like they were moving when the light disappeared. My phone buzzed a third time. Lines can move. That's when I remembered something. When I first bought this house, the old neighbor had mentioned that the land used to be divided. Different owners, different fences, different boundaries. But over the years, the lines had been removed, redrawn, forgotten. I wasn't sure anymore where my property actually ended, or if it ever really had. The hallway light switched on by itself. I heard footsteps again. Not one set this time, several. Walking slowly toward my room, from different directions, from places where there were no doors. The air grew colder. My breath started to fog in front of me. I realized with a sickening certainty, the thing that waited at the fence wasn't alone. It never had been. The motion light outside stayed on until sunrise. And when morning finally came, everything looked normal again. The gate was closed. The grass stood tall. No footprints anywhere. But now, every night at exactly 3 a.m., I don't hear something walking along my property line anymore. I hear something walking along my walls, waiting for me to fall asleep. Because once I do, there will be no line left to protect me. I didn't remember falling asleep. One moment I was sitting on the edge of the hotel bed, staring at the window that showed my own backyard. The next moment, I woke up on the floor. The room was colder, much colder. The television was still on, but the static had changed. Shapes were forming inside it, long vertical shadows moving slowly across the screen, like figures walking past a camera somewhere far away. I checked the time, 3 a.m. Again. My phone was lying beside me. Another notification. Front door camera, Motion detected. I don't have a front door camera, not in the hotel, not even at home, but the alert kept blinking. When I opened the video feed, I saw a narrow corridor I had never seen before. The walls were unfinished concrete. A single bulb flickered at the far end, and standing directly beneath that light was someone. At first, I thought it was just a shadow. Then the figure moved, slowly turning its head toward the camera, toward me. Its face was completely dark, like the light refused to touch it, but I could feel it looking. My ears started ringing. The hotel room around me seemed to stretch, as if the walls were pulling away. The bed looked farther than it should have been. The door looked smaller. The window behind the curtain was glowing faintly. I stood up and took a step toward it. The floor felt soft, like walking on sand. Every step left a shallow mark behind me. Footprints, inside the hotel room. My phone buzzed again. "You are walking the line now." I didn't want to look back, but I did. The footprints were not leading toward the window. They were forming a straight path across the room, dividing it perfectly in half. On one side, everything looked normal. On the other side, the shadows were darker. Too dark, moving when I wasn't. The television sound changed into something like breathing. Slow, heavy, patient. Then the bulb in the corridor feed exploded into white light. For a single frame, I saw dozens of figures standing behind the first one, perfectly still, waiting. The screen went black. At that exact moment, someone knocked on the hotel door. 3 slow taps. I couldn't move. Another knock, closer this time, as if the sound was inside my head instead of outside. The door handle turned, but the door didn't open. It just kept turning and turning and turning. My phone vibrated so hard it slid across the floor and stopped exactly on the line of footprints. New message. Step across. I don't know why I listened. Maybe because I was too tired to fight anymore. Maybe because something inside me was already changing. I lifted my foot and placed it on the other side of the line. The entire room went silent. No television, no breathing, no knocking. Even my heartbeat seemed to stop. For a moment, I felt weightless, like I was standing between 2 different worlds. Then the motion light came on. Not outside, above me. A harsh, white glow filled the room. When my eyes adjusted, I realized I wasn't in the hotel anymore. I was standing in my own backyard, barefoot, right at the property line. The grass was moving on both sides now, invisible paths circling me. Something brushed past my shoulder, cold, heavy. A whisper filled the air. "Now you understand." I looked down at the ground. 2 sets of footprints stood beside mine, slowly sinking deeper, as if we were all being pulled downward together. And somewhere in the darkness, far beyond the fence, I could see another motion light turning on.